going to leave. You're not going in that near that vehicle.
I'm just going to go stand
You're not
over there.
going near that vehicle. I do not know what's in that vehicle, and the way you're acting right now, I don't trust you. You're going to either stand here, wait for the supervisor, or you're going to tell me you're going to leave, and then we're going to get in our car and leave.
I'm not giving you my date of birth. I gave you my name. You have no suspicion that...
What's under arrest for?
You have a charge for obstruction.
Obstruction. You know that's not going to stick, right?
Oh, yes,
I did.
Do not resist. Do not resist.
What are you doing?
Put your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind your back. What are you doing?
Put your hands behind your back. Relax.
Cops are meant to serve and protect, but what happens when arrogance takes over and they cross the line? Here are some tales of cocky cops who picked the wrong fight with citizens armed with knowledge and determination. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well for the officers who thought they were untouchable.
You didn't listen to what I
All right,
said.
then
I
go
tried
ahead.
to explain this very nicely to you, sir.
Suspicion.
I have, and that's all I need.
That-
Reasonable suspicion that a crime is or about or has been committed.
Am I in bizarro world, or is this deputy not understanding the English language?
Among the cocky cops who picked the wrong fight are officers from the Alachua County Sheriff's Department. When an investigator parked in front of someone's house while working in the neighborhood, the homeowner called the police to report a suspicious person. That alone was enough for the officers to confront the man and demand his ID. Seems like an overreach. Well, just wait, it gets worse.
That you were parked in front of a bus stop, and then you were relocated here. This is what was dispatched to me.
Okay,
and
did
you're
you-
parked in front of somebody's house. This is not a normal place for people to be parked.
Okay.
And I am asking you to identify yourself.
Okay.
Okay? And you have to, by law, identify yourself. I need your ID, sir, to verify who you are.
I have to identify myself if you suspect me. Florida, is this a Terry stop? Am I being detained?
You are right now. Yes, you
Under
are.
suspicion of what crime, sir? Under the
Sir,
statute,
here's what's
loitering.
gonna happen. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to give me your driver's license here in a minute, or you're going to go to jail for resisting.
Okay.
I'm being honest with you.
I'm going to give him a license, then I'm going to follow internal.
Under the threat of arrest, the investigator had no choice but to hand over his ID and prove he was just doing his job. This was a clear violation of his civil rights and constitutional rights, but if you thought that'd be enough to satisfy the cop's ego, think again. Some officers just don't know when to stop, and this one was definitely no exception.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm going to give you my Florida investigator's license, which is acceptable to identify myself. This is incredible. You deputies have no problem violating people's rights, man. Apparently, you took an oath to defend the Constitution, correct? Is that correct? Yeah.
Sheriff, what now?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What county is this? Alachua County? Do you all violate citizens' rights all the time? No response to that, deputy? No response to that. Suspects me of no crime. I haven't broken the law. Under the threat of arrest, has required to give me identification. Now somehow my identity is going to quell his suspicion.
The investigator asked the two rookie cops to call a supervisor, but they completely ignored his request. Not only were they clueless about the law, but they also didn't even know their own department's policies. This was just one of many mistakes they made that day, and sadly, it wouldn't be the last. Some officers just can't seem to stop digging their own hole.
Can you call a supervisor on scene for me, please? I asked for a supervisor.
If you want to sit around and wait for a supervisor, we're more than happy to do
Oh,
that.
well, you got no problem sitting here detaining me.
Do you want to sit around and wait for a supervisor?
I asked for a supervisor. I'd like for you to
Yeah.
call a supervisor. I'm glad you got a smile on your face while you're violating my rights. Did you take an oath to the Constitution, deputy? Ought to be ashamed of yourself. Unbelievable. I suggest you refresh yourself on the law and what reasonable suspicion is. You go ahead and smile now. I will be filing an internal affairs complaint against you. Not that your corrupt internal affairs will do anything about it. Apparently you boys in blue don't know how to break that line.
Let's not overlook how poorly these officers handled the situation from the start. They were suspicious simply because the man had parked in front of a house he didn't live in, but they had failed to notice he wasn't even on private property, he was parked on a public sidewalk. It didn't take long for one of the cops to realize their mistake.
So now you're illegally running me through David. Boys just don't know how to
There's
uphold
no
the law.
public record exemption on tags, right?
Public what?
There's no public
Yeah, but you
record
also
exemption
know
on
there's a
tags.
state, you have to have a reasonable cause to run my tag
I
through
do not.
David. That's why that state
No,
trooper,
no.
that's why the
No, I
Florida
don't.
Highway Patrol trooper got sued, right?
Okay, sir, listen. If I ran your emergency contact, looked at your emergency contact information,
Just a minute.
that we're not on.
6429 with a valid decal till October 31st.
You know, we got stuff.
May I
going on,
ask why
cars
you're
that
running my
automatically
tag?
Run your tag
619, go ahead.
because you're parked in front of a house you do not live in.
Is that
That's the
suspicious?
bottom line.
Is that suspicious?
It's very suspicious. You don't even live here. You're
Oh, in
telling me
this
you're from
time
out
and
of town.
age, right, with terrorists and everything, right? At this time and age.
Okay. You need to move your vehicle out from in front of your house.
Why?
So you need to move your vehicle out from your house.
So
Okay?
you're saying it's illegal for me to sit there?
Is there even a shoulder? You're parked in the grass. Is there even
It's
a
an
shoulder
easement,
there?
33 feet from the center line.
Okay, trailer.
Are you giving me a
You're
lawful
free to
command?
go. You can go. Or you can wait for the supervisor to come.
I'm going to
Which
wait
would
for
you
the
like to do?
supervisor.
Please do. Don't go back in your vehicle.
Why can't I go back in my vehicle?
Because I'm standing out here and I don't know what's in your vehicle. If you want us to stand here to wait for a supervisor, I'm good with that. But because of the way you're acting, I'm not going to let you get back in your vehicle unless you're leaving. Because I don't know what's in your vehicle.
So can I not stay
You
on the
can
side
get
of
in
the
your
road?
vehicle and you can leave.
This cocky cop tried to give the man a choice to leave, assuming he'd be intimidated and take off without question, but he was wrong. Instead, the man chose to stay and wait for the supervisor, determined to see these officers face accountability. Naturally, this bruised the rookie cop's ego, and in his frustration, he started making up laws to assert his non-existent authority. Classic move, right?
Can't get in my vehicle and sit there.
Or you can stand right here and wait for the supervisor because I don't know what's in your vehicle.
Are you going to stay here and wait as well?
I'm going to stand right here and wait with you.
All right. So once again, once the supervisor leaves and you leaves, am I allowed to sit there and stay there? That's a simple yes or no question.
Why are you sitting here?
I am working.
Okay, where are you working?
That's none of your damn
I've never had
business.
this much problem.
None of your
ever
damn. You know
with a
why?
private
Because
investigator.
you don't have people who know how to stand up for their rights and can't stand arrogant, illegal acting cops. That's why. You've came here. You've required me to show ID when I didn't have to. I'm sitting on the side of a road. I haven't broken a law, and you abuse your authority. That gun and that badge doesn't give you abusive rights.
Can I just ask you a quick question?
Sure, go right ahead.
Do you have a house?
Do I have a house?
Do you live somewhere?
No, I live under a.
You're being sarcastic, and I'm just asking you honest questions. You're
What
getting
do
upset.
you
I'm not even
think?
saying that. So you live in a house. You got private property, right? So you, in your experience,
Yeah.
if somebody was parked right in front of your house like that vehicle is,
Yeah.
would that rouse your suspicion?
Perhaps, yeah.
Would you call law enforcement?
No.
You'd probably go out and handle it yourself.
Probably.
Would you arm yourself and go out there and do it?
May or may not.
Okay, well, not everyone has that courage, sir. They're not as brave as you. So that's when they call us.
This cop began coming up with excuses for his illegal detention, claiming he was just doing his job and protecting civil rights of the person who called them, but that logic didn't hold up. How can you protect someone's personal rights by violating another's? Clearly, his actions weren't about justice or fairness, but about what served his ego best. Here's exactly what he said.
We swore our oath to the citizens of Ohio
Okay,
County.
all right.
So I came here.
Yep.
Now I have to verify who you are.
Well,
now this deputy
let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. See, you think this is funny, deputy?
No, I do not think
Let's
this is
make it
funny.
serious.
I
Let's
don't
look.
think
Let's
this is
talk to
funny
each
at all.
other, two gentlemen. Okay? You do understand the Fourth Amendment, right, deputy? What does the Fourth Amendment guarantee?
I'm not
me?
going to sit here. You're,
See, you don't
I'm
want
not
to
gonna
talk
sit here and
about
have
something.
this
You're going to
debate.
lose that.
But you keep shutting me down. I'm trying to explain to you what's
No,
going
you're
on.
not.
and
You're
not
avoiding it. I'm asking. I'm answering your questions, and you don't want to answer mine. I have a Fourth Amendment right guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution that says I am free from illegal search and seizures. There is Florida statute which states in order for me to ID myself, again, listen to me carefully, in order for me to be required to identify myself in the state of Florida, I must A, be under arrest, or B, you must have RAS or PC that I have committed a crime, or...
Unfortunately, nothing the cop said made any sense, and deep down he knew it. On the other hand, the man had plenty to say, and it was clear he knew the law far better than the officer. Ironic, isn't it? The very person meant to enforce the law was outclassed by a citizen. This didn't sit well with the cop, whose frustration turned into panic as the holes in his story started to show.
To commit a crime. You have none of those standards. You have come here and say...
You didn't even listen to me. You didn't listen to what I
right,
said.
then
I
go
tried
ahead.
to explain this very nicely to you, sir.
Suspicion.
I have, and that's all I need.
That-
Reasonable suspicion that a crime is or about or has been committed.
Am I in
not
bizarro
explaining?
world, or is this deputy not understanding the English language? Okay, listen to me once again. In order to require me to ID myself, see,
This
you don't want to
conversation's
listen.
going in circles.
No, because you're not
You're standing
listening.
here for the supervisor. I don't particularly want to talk to you anymore. You're free to get in your car and leave.
No,
If you
see,
want to get in your
you're
car, you
not
can
listening.
leave, or you can wait for the supervisor.
What crime do you suspect me of committing or about to?
Now that I've identified you, now.
The cop even made the foolish mistake of admitting he had no reason to believe the man had broken the law, but that wasn't enough for the man, who refused to let this irresponsible behavior slide. Determined to seek justice and answers, he took action. Let's just say these rookie cops didn't come out of this looking good at all.
Me ease your assessment that I was about to commit a crime. You can't answer that, can you? That's why you turn away and you laugh, because you know that you've been caught in an illegal act.
What? Stand over in front of my car, please.
I'm not under and still detained. You have no control or
Then
custody
leave.
over me.
You're not coming
I don't.
near me.
You don't tell me what to do.
I'm telling you, you're not coming near me. You're gonna.
I'm not coming near you.
Leave, sir.
I'm looking to see what this deputy. Make sure you don't get a rifle and shoot me. You know, you cops aren't known for shooting people. So back to my point where you were embarrassed because I caught you in a, yeah, because you can't state a crime that you suspect me of committing. You want to say suspicion. Suspicion is not a crime. Loitering, which is...
As the man spoke, the cop was completely dumbfounded, silent, with no idea what to say or how to respond. Meanwhile, the man wasn't finished. He had plenty more to say. Hopefully, this will be the wake-up call these officers need to realize their mistakes. Maybe, just maybe, they'll learn how to treat citizens with respect and never display such a pathetic attitude again.
Of cop, that standard's also not met, because under the Florida statute, you must give me a reason to articulate why I'm in the area I am. I explained to you that I'm an investigator and I'm working. So that quells your interest. I tell you, man. You all wonder why cops are being shot in the street. Unbelievable. What's your patrol number? Do you have a patrol number or ID number?
Have it again.
May I have it again?
listening now.
To be honest with you, I don't remember. I'm not asking you to make it say it again. I don't remember you giving it to me. I do remember you saying your name is...
Detective Tell, or Deputy Tell.
You could see it on their faces and in their body language. They regretted approaching this man. It was obvious they had made a mistake, but by then it was too late, and the damage was already done. They were likely counting down the minutes until the supervisor arrived, just so they could get as far away as possible from this man.
I appreciate that very much.
No problem.
See, I can tell by your body language, man. I'm a certified interrogator. I've been doing this job for 16 years. All right? Look at your body.
Yeah,
Look at your body language.
You can't have a conversation. I
Really?
tried to have a conversation. with you.
What are we doing
And
now?
all you're doing is jumping up and down. You're
I'm
all
jumping up and
upset.
down.
You don't know anything. You're being insulting. You're being rude. But you want me to be nice to you. That's
I'm not
how you want
asking
this
you to be. I'm not
two-way,
asking you to be
right?
nice. You haven't been nice to me. You violated my Fourth Amendment. You're telling me what to do and what I can't do. You told me I can't stay there when I have every legal right to sit there. See, you think that's all okay. Because once again, you have that gun and that badge, and you think that gives you the right to tell people what to do. when you have no legal authority to do so. You can't deny any of that, can you? See, your body language is saying I'm absolutely right in what I'm saying, and you're embarrassed about it.
So glad you got that figured out.
Yeah, yeah,
No, you're genius. You got it all worked out.
yeah, yeah.
Your past year, correction, private investigation. Sure.
Yeah.
You got it all worked out.
Guarantee my IQ is higher than yours, buddy. Guarantee.
Maybe.
Yeah, no maybe about it.
Maybe.
Guarantee it.
It's possible.
I'm smart enough to not violate people's rights. I'm smart enough to expose corrupt cops. Yeah.
Can you believe this cop actually thought everything would blow over and be forgotten just because he claimed he was nice to the man? His words didn't match his actions from minutes earlier. Don't be fooled by the act, because this so-called nice cop wasn't done yet. It wasn't long before he went right back to issuing illegal orders, proving nothing had really changed.
Your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are. Yeah. A lot of people see you on YouTube.
That's fine.
Yeah, I know it's fine. I've got no problem with it. I'm not the one that got to go home tonight and pretend I'm a hero, go to my family tonight and pretend I'm a hero, protecting people's rights in this world that we live in with all the terrorism and everything.
Yeah, you're not being salty at all.
Yeah. Like you deserve any better. I tell you what, I'm gonna just go wait up at my vehicle.
Yeah, sir,
I don't
listen to me. Do not go. I do not know what's in
I
your
didn't
vehicle.
say in. I did not say
You're
in.
gonna either wait here or you're gonna leave. You're not going in that near
I
that
said
vehicle.
I'm just gonna go stand
You're
over
not
there.
going near that vehicle. I do not know what's in that vehicle, and the way you're acting right now, I don't trust you. You're gonna either stand here, wait for the supervisor, or you're gonna tell me you're gonna leave, and then we're gonna get in our car and leave.
Am I being detained?
How would you like to? What did I just tell you? You can leave, but then we're leaving. That's the bottom line. If you're going back to the vehicle, we're gonna
Go
get
ahead
out.
and leave. I'll wait for the supervisor.
She's not coming up here by herself. I can tell you that right now. She's not, and I would not allow her.
I'm
to come
such
up
a
here by
scary
herself.
guy.
I'm sure you noticed this man was only arguing with one cop. You're probably wondering, what's the deal with the other officer who stayed silent the whole time? Well, his silence didn't mean this man forgot about him either. In fact, the man had a few things to say to him as well, and a couple important questions he wasn't afraid to ask.
It is, you're a Gators fan, and I'm wearing Seminoles. That must be what it is. I am in Gator country. You can be honest. Is that what it is? You have no problem with this officer's illegal actions, officer? He's not violating my Fourth Amendment? How come you all automatically say it's arguing? I'm just asking you a question. And because you don't want to answer it, you want to classify it as arguing. Does it sound like we're arguing? Or does it sound like I'm trying to communicate with you and ask you a question? You want nothing to do with that, right? Incredible. Tax dollars hard at work, gentlemen.
It didn't take long for the long-awaited supervisor to arrive. At first, this female supervisor approached the man calmly. You might think she was there to help resolve the situation, but you'd be wrong. Her arrival didn't fix anything. In fact, it only made things worse. If you thought the other officers didn't know the law, well, this supervisor took ignorance to a whole new level.
My name is Mike Hoffman.
Okay, I'm Sergeant Phillips,
Your ID number, Sergeant Phillips?
409.
Okay. Has this officer explained to you what's happened?
It's my understanding someone called in about your vehicle being parked on private property.
Okay.
All right. And then that you weren't happy with the way they were handling it. And
Okay.
So they called me.
May I ask you, is what I'm doing sitting here, is that a crime?
If this is private property, yes.
Okay. It's public easement, is it not?
Without looking at,
You know what public easement is,
I know
correct?
what an easement is,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Now, you're a sergeant, so I know you've been
Correct.
on the force for a while.
Correct.
I'm sure, although not semantically accurate with the law, you're probably accurate enough to know how far easement goes off the road. And the fact that someone pulled right off the shoulder is on public easement. I mean, if you would give me that much? Okay.
Okay.
Let's go with this. Let's assume that I'm on public easement. Where I'm parked, is that a crime?
well, let me ask you this. Do you have a purpose for being here?
I do.
What's that?
I don't need one. I will articulate to you why I'm here,
Okay.
but I don't need one. I can be simply parked there for no reason whatsoever. Will we agree that is not a crime?
Well, I'm not going to argue right now, easement or not, okay? I'm saying right now we're here for a reason. Someone called us to come check out your vehicle and what they're doing parked in front of their house.
And that is totally acceptable, and I have no issue with that.
Okay.
I think you're doing your job
Right.
there, and I think that's your job.
Have you ever encountered such arrogant cops who believe they were above the law and made up rules on the spot to suit their needs? Share your stories in the comments. Now, let's get back to this incident, see how else this female supervisor tried to justify their questionable actions.
Okay.
Where I draw the issue is when this deputy over here demanded under the threat of arrest for me to ID myself, when I clearly articulated to this deputy, by the U.S. Constitution, I'm guaranteed a Fourth Amendment right. Not only that, under Florida statute and Florida Constitution, under Florida statute, he must either have RAS or PC that I've either committed a crime or about to commit a crime.
I'm going to stand over here if you don't mind.
Yeah. About to commit a crime before or be under arrest before I am required by law to present an ID.
Hold on just 1 second. 49.
So now these deputies are going to try to find a reason to jam me up. Okay, so do you agree with what I just said?
Well, let me, like you said, we're here for a reason.
I don't
okay?
disagree.
All right. So when we make contact with someone, that's the first thing we do is identify them so we know who we're out with.
That's your
okay?
policy. I agree with that. But again, I'm talking about the law when he has a right to demand under the color of authority code, U.S. Code 18, Section 242, which is deprivation of rights under the color of law. When you all put that badge on and take an oath, you become what's under the...
It's frustrating just how much she dodged the man's questions, knowing full well that any honest answer would make her look even worse. Instead, she chose to defend her officers no matter how wrong they were. It's no surprise that the cops under her command acted the way they did. Clearly, there was no one setting a better example for them to follow.
You have authority given to you, and he must meet certain requirements in order to use that authority under the color of law. What he did was threaten me with arrest if I did not give him ID. I articulated to him that he had to have certain standards met to demand ID from me. Isn't that correct?
Have you, at any point, have you given them ID or no?
I had to. He said he's going to lock me up. He said he was going to arrest me.
Okay, so you provided ID. Obviously,
Under the threat of being arrested.
Okay, so obviously we know who you are.
Yes.
All right, and you said you would explain to me your purpose for being
I'm
here,
an
right?
investigator, as I explained to him.
Private investigator?
That's correct. Before
Okay.
I gave him my ID, I said, look, I'm an investigator, I'm working. He wanted to know who I was working. I told him it was none of his damn business who I was working. And actually, under the law, if I'm not allowed to tell law enforcement, I can get in trouble with the law if I tell you who I'm working.
I don't...
Statute 493.
Well, I know in the past when we
What?
have
The female officer refused to back down, even when it was obvious they had no chance. Desperately, she used her last ounce of energy to come up with something to accuse the man of. It's a real mystery when she'll finally give up and stop wasting everyone's time, including her own. Someone needs to teach these officers what it truly means to serve the public and understand their actual duties.
I'm sorry?
I never asked you where you're working.
Okay, would you like me to stop the
All
video?
right, hold on.
You want to stand fast
Hey,
on that, deputy?
Listen, I'm standing here to help. Okay, just...
Yeah, but he just told a lie.
Okay, well, I know in the past when people are working as a private investigator, they will call our communications
yes.
to let them know I'm out here at this address so we don't get calls like this, right? So
and
we could have avoided this whole
Well, no,
situation.
that's not necessarily true, and you are correct. That's something we normally do. It is a courtesy. It's not a requirement.
Right.
But I have found in the recent past, irregardless if I call in or not, I'm approached. I've had deputy tell me it doesn't make a difference if you called in. I have to come out and approach you. So it does no good to call in, and at times calling in has got me burnt on cases. So I use my discretion on whether I'm going to call in or not. This wasn't my starting point, so normally when you do call in, it's from a starting point. I can't call in every time I go mobile.
Move location?
Correct, yes, ma'am. So it would be a nuisance for me to call 5 or 6 times for my.
If you're curious about what eventually happened to these officers and whether they face the consequences they deserve for their blatant ignorance of the law, stick around. We'll reveal it soon. But first, let's take a closer look at all the desperate ways the female supervisor tried to verbally outsmart the man.
Okay, now I'm at this location. It's you know what I'm saying? So now, again, I acknowledge what you're saying. You are correct in that. But let's get back to the semantical part and why I'm upset, why this deputy violated my rights. And I want to lock you down on that because I feel you're being somewhat invasive in that. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. I'm an activist in my personal life. I've been an investigator for 16 years. I'm ex-law enforcement. He wants to say it's a joke because it was in Department of Corrections. Okay, whatever. It was 20 years ago. Whatever. And I say that just to try to get some professional courtesy. bottom line, Sergeant, he violated my Fourth Amendment, and he thinks it's okay. He thinks he's done nothing wrong. I'm going to file an internal affairs complaint on him, but I want to start, and nothing, look, I'm not going to kid myself. Nothing's going to come of it, all right? I've been doing my activism for years, and, you know, it's not a thin blue line, it's a thick-ass blue line. I used to be part of it. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand.
Let's be clear, the officers made their first mistake the moment they decided to confront the man. All they needed to do was explain to the caller that, no matter how uncomfortable they felt, there was nothing to be done. The man wasn't on their property, and whatever was in front of it didn't matter because it was public land. Simple, right? But instead, they chose to escalate, a decision that cost them dearly.
But I have an issue. I want this gentleman first of all, I want you to acknowledge
I guess what like you said, if you're prior law enforcement, corrections, whatever, and you said professional courtesy, it seems like you would have extended that to them.
I did.
When
I got out of the vehicle, I raised my arms, told him I had no weapons, I lifted my shirt up, I turned around to give him officer safety so he has no concern.
Okay.
That's his immediate concern. Am I a threat to him?
Right.
Okay, I expelled that threat. Then I came over and we were talking, and he says, well, I want your ID. I said, well, Deputy, I said, please don't get me wrong. I know where this is about to go. I explained to him I'm an activist in my personal life and I stand up for my rights. And I explained to him it's not that I don't want to give you my ID, but because I'm an activist, I stand firm on my constitutional rights. I explained to him about the Fourth Amendment, and I explained he doesn't have a legal right to demand my ID.
Well, we're here for a call. We're here for a purpose. It's not like this was a self-initiated call. We got a call from a citizen. We have a legal right to be here.
Yes.
And
yes.
to find out who you are and know what you're doing.
But see, you don't have a legal right to ID me. Are you? And I'm looking for nobody will answer. When I confronted him on that, he wants to turn around and laugh and smile. But what I said, is it not true or is it true? And I'll repeat what I said. In the state of Florida, for a Terry stop, okay?
This isn't a Terry stop.
Exactly. It wasn't a traffic, and I'm not required to produce ID. This is not a stop and ID state. In the state of Florida, under statute,
the female supervisor kept insisting they had to respond because they had work to do. Fine, let's give her that. But the real mistake was their terrible approach, immediately detaining the man without even asking questions. Their job isn't to threaten someone's civil rights, but clearly these officers had no understanding of that. It's hard to believe they thought this was acceptable behavior.
Required to ID myself. You must either suspect me of committing a crime or about to commit a crime, and you must either have PC of that or RAS. He kept on saying his reasonable suspicion was just suspicion. That's what he thinks his standard is for me to be required to ID. And I asked him, sir, suspicion of what crime? And he's like, I don't think you committed a crime. I have suspicion, you're suspicious, you're here. Do you see where I'm going?
I do. But I guess I would like to, at this point, move on, though, and try to get this resolved. I'm sure you obviously have a job to do, right?
Yeah,
You're on.
But how's it going to be resolved? I would like acknowledgement, and if you don't feel comfortable, I'd like for you to say so for the record. Am I correct in my stance about what he needs to demand ID, or is he right? Because again, he threatened me with arrest. It's all on video, his and mine. I will be filing a PRR to get that video and that audio. He's confirmed to me it's all on audio and video. I have mine. I missed most of it because I wasn't recording it right away.
Okay.
It wasn't until he threatened me with arrest that I'm like, well, shit, I need to turn my camera on. You know, this guy's going to and he told me, if you don't get your ID out, I'm going to take you to jail. I'm going to arrest you. That's a threat. He's threatened to do bodily harm to me, kidnap me. And I know that may be a funny term, but legally that's what it is when he doesn't have the authority.
Of course, the female supervisor didn't stop with just one excuse. She wasn't even listening to the man. While he was speaking, she was busy planning her next response, and the disconnect in their conversation was painfully obvious. It's honestly disappointing that she didn't see anything wrong with this approach. Instead, she pushed forward with her agenda, ignoring the reality of the situation and the valid points the man raised.
What he did. And then you know what he tells me? I forgot about this part. He says, I can't be there. He told me to get in my truck and leave. I said, I'm working. I have every right to be there. Then he wouldn't let me go back to my truck. Thinks I'm going to go get a weapon and shoot him.
Okay. Well, that's officer safety.
Well, no, it's not. I'm not being detained. He doesn't expect me to come around.
No, you're not being detained. But anytime, like on a traffic stop, when we approach a vehicle, if someone needs to get something out of their vehicle, we walk with them.
Yeah, but it's over with. He was done with me. He said I couldn't get back in my vehicle until he left. He doesn't have any right to control me like that.
All right, like I said, you're here on a job, and I know you said you won't tell us who you work for or whatever. Is there any way that we can confirm that you're here doing a private investigate? Or
I gave my
you're-
investigator's license.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am.
You didn't tell me that. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. I ID myself. That was
All
my
right,
ID.
so we know who you are, we know who you work for, and that's why you're here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you...
After about 20 minutes of back and forth, the female officer ran out of excuses. She knew the man was right and her officers were in the wrong. You'd think this would be the moment they'd finally admit defeat and leave, but no. Instead, they held a quick, secret huddle. The female supervisor returned from the discussion armed with new accusations, desperately trying to keep their shaky narrative alive.
Give me just 1 second.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
You looked it up on the public appraiser's website, and of course, the easement somewhere here doesn't exactly identify who.
On state roads, it's 33 feet from the center line.
This isn't a state.
Let me finish. I believe on county roads, I know I'm right on state roads. I believe county roads is 13 feet. I believe. So I state that because I'm not absolutely sure. State roads, 33 feet. So, again, it's no sense in
Right, like I said, I
rehashing
want to
everything.
move forward at this point and try to
Yeah.
resolve it. Obviously, like I said, they were here on a call. She's, a mom, young kids. She's saying, I guess there's a bus
I
stop
have
right
no
down here.
problem with none of
Right.
that.
So when they show up and make contact with you, they have a right to ask for your identification.
Ask. They have a right to ask. He does not have a right to threaten me with arrest, which he did.
Well, honestly, right when they show up on a call and they ask for your ID and you refuse to give it to them when they're here for a lawful reason, that could be considered resisting without. That is an arrestable offense.
I know the subsection for resisting without violence. It's not. See, do you see where I'm going with this? I'm an activist. I'm pretty well versed in the laws. I do this.
The female supervisor came back confident, thinking their secret huddle had strengthened her position. She was sure this time she'd win, or at least intimidate the man into leaving. But that didn't happen. It didn't take long before the man once again dismantled her arguments and put her right back in her place. Her confidence quickly crumbled under the weight of the truth.
I've been arrested 3 times. I have 2 cases going to the Florida Supreme Court.
Okay.
One of them is over this very same matter, which I'm about to sue the state for $5 million. All right, so I think I'm pretty well versed on what I'm doing. And again, you all can't use, and I apologize for my tone and my what could be perceived as hyper. Yeah, the guy threatened to arrest me, man, take my freedom away. And he doesn't have a right. You all can make excuses or try to justify it. Yes, you have every right to be here. A citizen's concerned.
And to identify you.
You don't. Man, you're a deputy. Do you know what the law says? What does the law say?
Because we're here on a call. Like I said, we did not self-initiate. She calls in a suspicious vehicle. She doesn't know the vehicle. She doesn't know if there's someone inside the vehicle. So when we get here, we don't know who you are. We don't know if the bus stop down here, if you're waiting to kidnap a kid. We don't know that if you're a sex offender and not supposed to be by a bus stop. We don't know all that until we...
The next time you need the police and they're nowhere to be found, don't bother asking where they are. Chances are they're off somewhere irrelevant, arguing with citizens who have done nothing wrong other than bruising their fragile egos. Priorities, right?
3 times what the law says, very succinctly, and you've not yet acknowledged it or denied it. And I would think a deputy of the statute of sergeant would be pretty well versed in what it takes to demand ID under the color of law. U.S. Code 18242, deprivation of rights under the color of law. Okay?
Well, you're convinced that you're right based on your knowledge of the law and stuff like that.
Will you do this for me? Will you research it today? And just out of I would say professional courtesy, but I'm not going to get any. You're not at all. You've been.
Even this man had reached his limit. He realized there was no point in trying to educate officers who had no interest in learning and preferred to act as if the laws didn't apply to them. So he decided to deliver a calculated parting blow, a statement so sharp and unexpected that it left the female supervisor completely at a loss for words. She didn't see it coming, and it showed.
Future, please take 15-20 minutes today, research the law, and I'll give it to you one final time. In the state of Florida, the statute says to demand, not ask, to demand ID, you must have reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed, or PC, that I've committed a crime or I'm about to commit a crime.
Right, and we don't know why you're here if you are about to commit a crime until we identify who you are.
Do you know what that means? You don't get to use that as an excuse. Reasonable articulable suspicion means you must be able to articulate what crime I've either committed or about to commit. You don't get to say, oh, well, we think you might commit a crime, you might be a bank robber, you might be wanted, You might be a child molester. You might be just
Which, like you said, though, you understand our concern when we pull up and don't know why.
I do, but I also expect you of taking an oath to the Florida Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, and being a...
These officers got a lesson they'll never forget from a man they eventually let go, as they should have from the start. While they weren't fired, they did become infamous on social media, ensuring their police careers won't be smooth sailing. What do you think? Did they deserve harsher consequences than just public shame? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's move on to the next, even more outrageous encounter. On November 5th of 2022 at around 10:30 p.m., Lawrence Walters, owner of a game store, stepped out for a quick meal break just 0.1 miles away. But his quiet evening took a strange turn. Officer Leon McKinney, bored during his third shift patrol, decided to entertain himself. What happened next makes you wonder, was it really just a harmless fun or something more?
No problem.
Come here.
You don't have no problem at all. I'm the owner of Retro DJ.
Huh?
You better go look me up.
Okay.
You have no probable cause to stop me.
That's why I'm here, because I see people walking behind this building right here.
That's fine. I got a back door. I'm walking the Circle
Well,
K.
I'm glad you do. But listen here.
You don't have a problem?
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. If
Someone has to
somebody,
physically trespass.
If I see
you better look
somebody
at
here,
Georgia State Code.
If I see somebody here at night walking behind a building.
What's your name and badge
My
number?
name is Leon McKinney.
Okay, that's not probable cause.
Yes, it is.
Because it takes a business to trespass.
I don't need probable cause.
Yes, you do.
I need articulable, reasonable suspicion.
That's probable cause.
And that's what I've got when I see somebody coming behind the building right now. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Because
all these businesses are closed.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And you're walking behind it.
That's fine. I have a right to walk behind
What's your name?
Lawrence calmly gave his name and the name of his company, but stood firm on his right to withhold his date of birth, a choice fully within his rights. You'd think a basic understanding of constitutional rights and the Fourth Amendment would be a given for an officer, but not for Leon McKinney. His bruised ego from this simple act of defiance only fueled his worsening behavior. What followed was anything but professional.
Lawrence Walters.
Lawrence Walters?
Yep.
What's your date of birth?
I'm not giving you my date of birth because you don't have reasonable articulable suspicion. I done told you.
209-25 women.
All you got to do is
listen here.
Go on the state website, Georgia Department of
listen here.
Treasury.
Listen here. Calm down.
Secretary of State.
Calm down. Calm down.
Retro D Gaze LP. My name will pop up.
Calm down. You're taking this way out of hand.
No, I'm not, because I know my rights.
If I see somebody coming from behind a building tonight, then I can stop and ask them what they're doing.
And I told you what I was doing.
Okay.
And I told you who I was.
But I don't know who you are. I'm just giving your name and date of birth. What's your name?
I'm not giving you my date of birth. I gave you my name. You have no suspicion that I've committed any crime.
You're behind a building. You're prowling.
Okay.
You're loaded and prowling.
We'll settle this right.
Officer McKinney eventually told Lawrence he trusted him and believed nothing suspicious was going on. You'd think that would be the end of the harassing of an innocent man, right? Well, wrong. Officer McKinney wasn't done yet. Whatever he planned next, one thing was clear: this night was far from over, and things were about to take an even darker turn.
Settle this right now.
I'm not going nowhere with you right now.
How about we go over to
Let me tell you something.
My business and I open up the door.
Okay. I believe you now, but I'm telling you, I do have a right to stop you.
Yeah, am I free to go?
No. Because I want to know your name and date of birth so I can make a report.
I already gave you
I'm going to make a report of this.
Do what you got to do. I already gave you my name.
I'm going to make a report of this.
I already gave you my name. Do what you got to do.
I'm going to make a report of this.
At this point, I answer no more questions.
All you had to do is say, yes, sir.
I already told you that. I said that when I walked up.
No. When I first pulled up.
I said you don't have no reason to stop me.
And I do.
No, you don't.
You're wrong.
Because it's not trespassing.
You're wrong.
It takes someone from one of these businesses. It takes either Miss Moody or Wade Moody. They own this. They own that. Right? They either trespassing.
Officer McKinney was about to learn the hard way that being a cocky cop, picking the wrong fight never ends well. Unfortunately for him, by the time he realized it would already be too late. Instead of walking away and diffusing the situation, Officer McKinney chose to stay and escalate things further with a man who had done absolutely nothing wrong and owed him no explanation.
The business to trespass somebody.
Let me tell you this.
I know what Georgia law says.
Let me tell you this. Ain't you glad I'm checking on these businesses?
It's fine you're checking, but what I'm telling you is You're hindering me from what I'm going to do.
I'm not.
I want to go get something to eat because I've worked 18 hours today and I haven't had nothing to eat.
And all you had to do was be polite and talk to me
I
nicely.
was
like
polite.
You did. No,
I didn't cuss at you.
the first thing that you said to me, you have no right to stop me.
You don't.
Yes, I do.
I'm telling you, look under the OCG.
I don't have to look under no law. I do this constantly, year after year.
That doesn't make it right, is what I'm telling you. It does not make it right.
Listen.
What's your name? You still haven't identified yourself to me.
I'm telling you, my name is Leon McKinney. I work with the Baxley Police Department.
I know who you work for. I see that.
And what else do you want from me? I'll give you anything I want.
Your badge number.
My badge number is 210.
210.
What else do you want?
That's it.
The real issue with officers like McKinney is their inability to separate citizens defending their civil rights from challenges to their authority. This was never about ensuring safety, and if it were, Officer McKinney wouldn't have singled out Lawrence in the first place. He would have been focused on actual threats, not creating problems where none existed. What do you think? What was Officer McKinney really trying to prove?
No.
Okay. But what is your name?
I already told you my name. My name is Lawrence Walters.
Okay, Lawrence Walters. And where do you live?
I live in Uvalde.
Okay.
That's the most you're going to get out of me.
Okay.
Because everything else, you can pull up my city license through the city of Baxley.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm not trying to question you about nothing like that.
You can pull up my department.
I see him walking behind the building here. Mm-hmm. I just pulled in here. I said, come here a minute. I'll talk to you. And he said, you have no reason to stop me. I said, yes, you do. You're at a business and you're behind. You're coming behind.
No.
But now I asked for his date of birth. And he says, I'm not giving you my date of birth.
Georgia law to
but this is his
owner of the property.
But this
I am a business owner.
This is his business.
But to him. Okay.
But now you won't give him his date of birth.
Y'all say all the businesses.
Despite Lawrence repeatedly explaining he was the business owner working late, Officer McKinney acted as if he was dealing with a criminal. Every moment was an opportunity for McKinney to walk away and do the right thing, yet he doubled down. Calling for backup, Officer Terry Reynolds only escalated the situation further. Instead of correcting a mistake, Officer McKinney turned it into a team effort in bad policing.
My business ain't closed. So, there you go.
He don't know you, man.
It doesn't matter. I already told. I give him my name.
It does matter. It does matter.
It doesn't matter to me. It might matter to you.
It matters to the state of Georgia.
No, it doesn't. You better go look up at the code.
I know what the code says.
Then show me the code. Don't tell me. Show me the code.
I ain't gonna show you nothing.
Arrest me then.
Put your hands on your back. You're under arrest.
What am I under arrest for?
You're charged for obstruction.
Obstruction. You know that's not going to stick, right?
Oh, yes,
I did. You'll see it on
the birthday.
No, you won't give it to me.
You give his birthday? That's not complying.
I gave him my name.
That's not complying.
I don't have to comply because I did nothing wrong.
You in a place where business is closed.
No, my business is not closed.
What's your business?
Retro D Games. It is not closed.
Officer Reynolds managed to outdo McKinney with even worse behavior. He dared to claim they didn't know who Lawrence was, as if that alone justified their actions. Here's the thing, they don't need to know who someone is unless they've broken the law. But some officers just don't know when to stop, do they? And this was all about power, plain and simple.
I am open for business.
It doesn't matter. We don't know that. Your business is closed because you're not there.
No, it's not. How do you know I don't got an employee there?
I don't.
That's why.
Which one is it?
It's Retro D Games. Come on. I'll pull out my.
It doesn't matter.
No. If the business is not closed, it won't be locked.
It's locked because I locked it.
It's not.
It's closed.
It's not
It's
closed.
It's closed.
But that's not my hours of operation. But I can pull my keys off. I asked him to walk with me. When you review that auto, I asked him to walk with me. Can you walk with me? I'll open it.
Business is closed. It's what you're trying to get started with.
You're going to arrest me for obstruction.
I told you this. All you had to do is say, hey, officer, this is my business.
Under the threat of arrest, Lawrence handed over his ID, but the officers acted like he had already missed his chance. Their arrogance wasn't about to end there. Lawrence had just one simple request: to close his business and secure the money. You think the police in their self-proclaimed authority allowed him this basic courtesy?
When I came up, you told me not to go nowhere.
You know the first thing you told me?
Yeah, when I
you
was
have
walking.
no right to stop me.
Yeah, and then you said,
You know where you're seeing that stuff out? TV.
all right, come here. If we'll let this go, I will give you my driver's license right now.
You want too much TV, partner.
Come on.
There's no sense to this to the rest of the local business.
Let's go.
Too much TV.
Let's go, Mr. Waters.
Can I get you?
Let's go.
Can I get
Let's
you?
get in the car. Let's go.
Okay.
You had your chance.
I get it.
Way too much.
You got anything on you?
No, I don't. I just got my cash.
All right, here's what you do.
Can I go?
right,
Can I
here's
go
what
and
you do.
secure my money in my
Here's what you
business
do.
before you take me to jail? Can you just take me?
Why are you leaving?
I was just going to get something to eat. That's all at Circle K.
And where is it at in your business?
It's in my cash register. I haven't even left tonight. That's what I'm saying. I'm still open. I did.
Lawrence was arrested for obstructing officers, but the real story comes later when you find out what happened to McKinney and Reynolds after this. Before we get to that, think about how they acted. Their behavior was so bad that when body camera footage comes out, it's clear they'll get a reputation they won't be proud of.
Come on, this is totally up to you.
I'm telling you something. You made a bad decision tonight.
Okay, I made a bad decision. We all make bad decisions
But
sometimes.
you shouldn't have done it. All you had to do was be nice and talk to me. Like
I did talk to you. I didn't cuss
No,
at
you
you.
didn't. No,
Did
you
I cuss at you one time?
First thing you said to me.
Yeah, that
you
was when
have
I was
no
wrong.
right.
That's when I was
He started
wrong.
arguing about the law to me.
I know.
Go ahead and have a seat for me.
I can't get in there. I'm too big. I got a knee problem.
All right, do this.
Sit down,
Do this.
slide back.
Sit your butt down. Just slide back.
Yeah.
And let me ask you: is your business locked?
No, sir. That's what I'm saying. My back door is not locked.
The back door is not locked.
No, I was just going to.
Which one is it?
I don't want him to enter my business. He has to have a warrant.
He said now he's saying he don't want you to enter his business.
He's not taking me to
He said
jail.
you need a warrant.
I'm not in your business. I'm going to check the door.
I don't want you touching my door.
I can touch your door all day long as I'm checking it. You ain't got no say-so about that.
You might be surprised to hear that after the incident, only Officer McKinney's body cam footage was released. Officer Reynolds' footage, the one who went on to secure the business and lock the door, was mysteriously lost. Coincidence, or is there something hidden that City Hall doesn't want anyone to find out? The real question is, what are they trying to cover up? What are we missing?
Okay. But this is
I tell you this: I've never seen a business owner like you.
Because I had a rough day. I had 18 hours a day. Cut me a break.
Most business owners
Cut me a break.
like the police.
Cut me. I do like y'all. I have no. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You sure didn't show it?
I have deputies come in all the time, and I have Baxley police come in all the time. I treat them with the utmost respect, and I give them a
Baxley police?
discount.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, but you.
Just come on, cut me a break. This ain't the way to go.
No, I fixed the charge now because I've done arrested you.
You can stop that. You haven't did the paperwork.
Once I arrest somebody,
Okay. Can you citate me? Because you can citate me.
No.
You can citate. I'm not answering any more questions.
He's not answering no questions. He said he's not answering no questions. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say.
Unfortunately, neither Officer McKinney or Officer Reynolds faced any consequences for their actions. Meanwhile, Lawrence's arrest cost him clients, forcing him to sell his business at a loss due to the damaged reputation. And McKinney? He left the Baxley Police Department only to land a promotion as Chief of Police in Odom, GA. Can you believe that? A cocky cop, rewarded instead of punished. If you think that was bad, wait until you hear our next case. This guy was exercising his First Amendment rights when law enforcement decided to confront him. He was perfectly within his rights to do whatever he wanted in public, including filming the police. But for some reason, this seemed to really upset the officer. That officer's ignorance of the law wasn't just embarrassing, it was about to turn into a much bigger problem.
Hey, give me 1 second. Hey, sir, I'm Officer Scott. Hey, right now, you're interfering with my scene.
I'm not.
I don't mind you. Listen to me. Stop right here.
No.
I don't mind. Listen to me.
25 feet.
I don't mind you recording. You can't be right here. You can't be right here. No, sir. You can go right up there where that playground is. Record
feet's the
that.
distance.
No, sir. Listen to me. This is your last chance. You need to go over there at that playground, stay at my scene. What am I doing right now? Try to do my job, and right now you're interfering with that.
You have it lined up?
Right over there. Right over there.
You have it lined up?
What I want you to do is I want you to go right there at that playground.
You have it lined up? What's your
Right there at that
badge
playground.
number?
Officer Scott 660.
Perfect.
What I need you to do,
25 feet.
if you want to record, just go right up on there.
25 feet's the law, right?
No, sir.
Unless you have it taped
No, sir.
off. Unless you have it taped off.
If you want to record, you
Unless
go
you-
right up on there.
Unless you have it taped off, it has to be 25 feet.
Okay.
Correct? 25 feet is the law. Right?
This guy tried to stand up for his civil rights and talk to the cops, but they didn't take it well. Being in a group seemed to give them a false sense of power, making them feel unstoppable. What happened next didn't just shock this guy who was simply exercising his constitutional rights. It will leave all of you stunned too.
It's your last chance. I need you to go up there.
25 feet is the law, right?
No,
okay,
sir.
how am I interfering with
sir.
you? If I'm interfering with you,
Okay, what I want you to do, go ahead and turn around.
For what?
Go ahead and turn around. Do not
What are you
resist.
doing?
Do not resist.
What are you doing?
Do not resist.
Relax. What are you doing?
Put your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind your back. What are you doing?
Put your hands behind your back. Relax.
Behind my back. What are you cuffing me for?
Relax.
Wait a second.
Right now you're being detained.
For
Relax.
what? Okay, hold on a second. In order to be detained, here, I can have my phone.
Relax.
What are you detaining me for?
Relax and
listen,
stop resisting.
I'm gonna tell you.
Stop resisting.
Oh, you know who I am, don't you?
Stop resisting.
You know who I am, don't you?
Stop resisting.
You know who I am, don't
Stop
you?
resisting.
I'm gonna ask you one more time. Why are you stopping me? Why are you putting cuffs on me? What law did I break? What law did I break? You know my name, don't you? You know my name, don't you? Give my phone back. What are you taking my stuff for? You don't have consent. I don't give you consent to search.
Stop.
I don't give you consent to
Stop.
search. I'm not under arrest.
Stop. You are under arrest. Stop.
For what?
Stop.
For what?
Interference with public duties.
How so? How so? Ow, you're hurting me. You're hurting me. Give my phone.
Stop.
Go to the ground.
Mr. Stark, stop.
Go to the ground with
Stop.
him. Put him on the ground. Put him on the ground.
Stop, Mr. Stark.
You know what?
Stop resisting. Stop.
Stop fighting.
Stop. Stop.
What are you doing?
Can you believe these cops actually arrested this guy for obstructing their work? We all know that was just a lame excuse to cover up their illegal actions, but the real kicker, they were foolish enough to think this would hold up. Of course, this fight won't end well for them, but let's let them bask in their illusion of power just a little longer.
What law did I break? What are you doing?
Stop. Relax. Gotta make sure you don't have any weapons on you.
Hey, am I under arrest?
You're under arrest. I already
For
told
what?
you that. For
For
interference with public duties.
Excuse me, how so? How so? Get your fucking hands off of me. Oh, okay.
Here, let's roll them. You ready?
Ow, you're hurting my neck.
Roll them towards me.
Ow.
Towards you?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
Oh.
6 up, 6 up.
You know what?
I've been waiting for this.
What do you let? Get your hands off of me, goddammit. What the f are you doing, man?
Stop. Relax.
Would you rest? You know what? Stop. Oh! Oh!
All right. Let me get my leg shackles. I'll be right back. Stop resisting.
Whatever's in this grass.
Stop resisting. I'll be right back.
You're about to be paid.
Hey, pop the trunk. We're good.
Stop fighting.
During the arrest, the officers were so aggressive that they started hurting this guy. Even after he repeatedly said he couldn't breathe, they kept on using excessive force. Shockingly, one of the cops even broke his shoulder. All of this just because he was filming in public? And believe it or not, that wasn't even the worst thing to happen that day.
All right, we're good. Up.
Up.
We're gonna roll you to your butt. We're gonna stand you up.
Get up.
I can't. Ouch!
Let's go, Mr.
You're hurting me.
This is what we're doing. We're gonna get up.
You're gonna listen to me.
You're gonna get up.
Listen to
You're
me.
going to the back of the car.
What for? What'd you arrest me for?
Let's go.
What'd you arrest me for?
Let's go.
You. Oh my God! I can't. Ouch! You're hurting me. Ouch! Where's my phone? You. That's your. Get your fucking hands off me. Ow! Ow!
Seatbelt.
Ow! Ow! What are you doing?
I'll grab his feet for you.
You broke. Oh, wow.
660-195.
Why do you think the officers were so upset about someone filming them? Was it their way of flexing their authority and showing who's in charge, or were they angry because they had something to hide and didn't want anyone exposing their illegal actions? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned as we look back at how the cops handled the injured man. Spoiler, it's not good.
Interference and resisting. He's not related to them. He just walked up on our stop.
Okay. Hey, let's go ahead and get him out of here then.
Yeah. What's up? I mean, he's cross-body in there with shackled. I don't think so.
Hey, I'm gonna go with him. We going to our jail?
Yeah. I'll bring your car back. Is this you?
Just gonna follow.
Okay.
Y'all good here?
Yeah. Do you want to cut her for those Cobra cups?
I got it.
Okay. County, you can go over the channel.
Their biggest concern? That the guy spat on one of them. But really, what did they expect? He'd respond to their awful behavior with kind words and gratitude? Maybe it's time these officers learn that respect from citizens is something you earn, not something you can force through intimidation and aggression. When will they finally figure that out?
Hey, Sarge. Hey, do I need to photograph you?
Huh?
Did you get spit on?
He spit on my foot.
You want me to photograph it?
Is it still wet?
Where did he get you? Whereabouts?
This corner. I already kind of wiped it with my hand.
No. I'll see anything.
Text 432-94-242, being 432-94-242.
The cops were still out on the street coordinating their story to justify an arrest they knew was wrong. Making up reasons doesn't make it right. Meanwhile, the guy they arrested sat in a police car with a broken shoulder in obvious pain. And not one of these officers thought to call 911. Let that sink in. Just how far can a lack of basic humanity go?
Can you get back in the car, okay? We'll be done in just a minute. Hey, so driver, just give him a citation for no driver's license and for drug paraphernalia.
He said he does have a deal. He handed me his ID.
Oh, well, let's scan it, or let's just run him and see if we can find it.
Okay.
If he does have a deal, then we'll just give him for drug paraphernalia.
All right. So the only thing I got.
Yes.
Would you have been okay with me leaving them and assisting?
No, because so he started getting mouthy. I just de-escalated until Drake got here. So I wasn't engaging, and then Drake. As soon as there's 2-on-1, I'm good.
Okay.
But you were fine.
Okay.
No, you were fine.
I don't want to get that twisted. Like
No, not at all. No, that was your primary job right then. So
Okay.
From the officers' conversations, it becomes clear they knew exactly who this guy was, been arrested for similar petty reasons by the same department. It's obvious these cops didn't want anyone standing in their way. The most disturbing part, they treated him as if he was less valuable because of his past. If you think that sounds harsh, just listen to how they talk about him.
go ahead and knock out his citation.
Do you have any antibacterial?
Yes.
Yeah. What?
It squirts.
Oh, I got it. So this one here takes care of all that.
So I didn't
I feel
even.
it burning my hands.
I didn't recognize him.
What's his name?
That's Charles Stark.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I'm going through the car. He's watching the kids.
Gosh, this is burning.
Well, yeah, you probably got all kinds of little abrasions and stuff on you.
No, it's just my skin. It's like feels like it's really cold when it first hits, and then it's like, and then it goes away.
So Charles comes walking down the way with his cell phone out. I'm like, oh, maybe.
If you think this story is bad, just wait for our next video, because what comes out next will truly leave you speechless. It's hard to imagine things could get any worse, but some officers seem determined to set the bar even lower.